Hello. Thanks for joining me today. So we'll start today in any seated position that you like. So I have a blanket under the base of my buttocks just to raise my hips up a little bit so my knees can go lower. We're just going to spend a couple of moments arriving. Welcome. If you're not comfortable sitting with your legs crossed, feel free to bring your legs wide. So just find whatever works for you. This is going to be a grounding flow. So we're going to remember the earth under us. We're going to move our bodies. So join me. So first I need to give my foot a little massage, a little awareness, a little attention. Feels like it wants some love, so I'm just gonna circle it a little bit. And then, of course, the other foot wants some awareness, some attention as well. Circle it a little bit. And then find your comfortable seated position. Hands resting on the thighs or on the lap. And bring your awareness to the space inside your forehead. Perhaps become aware of all the activity in your brain. And taking a deep inhale, and as you exhale, pull all that awareness, that activity, that tension down, let it drain down into the shoulders. Take another deep inhale. Stay with the awareness around the shoulders, the collarbones, the upper chest. Become aware of what's there. Not judging or trying to push away, just become aware of what's there. And when you're ready, then let all that tension, all that activity drain down into your belly. Take a moment and pause and breathe into the belly to notice what's happening there. Taking another deep inhale, and as you exhale, let all that tension, all that holding, all that stress drain down into the ground. Just notice the breath. And if you like, do that again. Bring your awareness to the space inside your forehead. Maybe you're finding it a little clearer there. Imagine breathing into that space inside the forehead. Maybe there's still a lot of tension, a lot of activity. As you exhale, let all that awareness come down into the upper chest, between the shoulders, between the collarbones and shoulder blades. Stay here for several breaths and just let your awareness rest in this upper torso. And then gather everything that's still there. And as you exhale, let your awareness drain down into the belly, into the abdomen. Become aware of what's there. And on your next exhale, let your awareness drain down into the ground. Imagine you're releasing all that stuff that you don't need into the ground. Now make your way down onto your back. Come down onto your back. Lie on your mat. And if you like, bring your hands to your belly. Let the feet be a little bit wider and the knees resting against each other. This is one of my favorite poses, constructive rest pose, and it's such a valuable pose to help you ground yourself right now. This is a deep release of the psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle starts on the insides of the pelvis and then runs behind the organs in the abdomen and connects to the spine at the base of the rib cage. And it's the first muscle that gets tight when we're under stress. So with my hands on my belly, I can kind of feel a little settling. Or you might feel a lot of activity in the belly, and that's good because you're bringing awareness there. You're asking that area to soothe a little bit. If you like, gently turn your head side to side to soften the neck. And find where your head is at center. Imagine shoulders melting away from the ears to the back, so the shoulders melting down into the ground. Imagine the earth holding you completely. Let yourself settle on the ground. And begin to notice your breath. Begin to notice your innate breath. How does your breath feel right now? Does it feel easy and smooth? Or does it feel a little choppy or short? Just shine your awareness on your breath and imagine letting your mind, your breath, your body come into the present moment. The practice of yoga is really the practice of coming back into this moment again and again and again and again. If you like, if your body is craving some movement, you can add the arms to the breath. So adding some movement, maybe bringing the feet about hip distance apart from each other, the arms alongside the body. Let the knees now rest over the ankles, feet ground into the earth. Again, discover your breath. And then moving at the pace of the breath. As you inhale, let the arms float overhead towards the floor behind you. As far as they want to go, you can let them rest here for a good exhale and another inhale. And on the next exhale, arms float back down. So you don't have to pause for a moment. If your body's craving movement, just lift and lower the arms with the breath. I'm pausing for a whole breath. If you want to move a little bit faster than me, feel free to do that. And I'm now going to demonstrate just moving at the pace of the breath. And your arms might not come all the way overhead. They might just stop here. Don't force them. Just do whatever your arms want to do. Each inhale, the arms sweep overhead. Each exhale, the arms sweep down. Or again, add that pause at the top when the breath is full and the arms are stretched overhead. Exhale, come into another inhale, another exhale. Arms float back down. The arms might rest for a moment. So let this be your own flow. Throughout the practice, really listen to your body. Listening to your body is much more important than listening to me. My cat is playing in the next room. I don't know if you can hear her. If your body is craving more movement, you can also, as you inhale, lift the hips up, coming into bridge pose. The arms can still be traveling overhead. And then as you exhale, bring the spine back down as slowly as you can. So lifting arms and hips and lowering arms and hips if you like. You can always add that pause at the top. You can stay for several breaths if that feels really good. Don't let your knees splay out so your knees are still over the ankles. Another option is to alternate raising arms and hips. So this is your practice. Listen to your body. Do what your body wants to do. Pressing into all 10 toes. The next time arms and hips are down, if you're done, you can pause. If you want more, feel free to keep going. You don't have to keep up. You can go off on your own anytime you like. If you want to do some more movement, step the feet wider. Mine are even wider than the mat. Bring the arms out to the sides, closer to the hips than the shoulders, so they're kind of in an A-frame. Again, discover your breath. And as you exhale, let the knees drift over to the right. Maybe look towards your left shoulder. Inhale, knees and head back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. Arms stay grounded on the floor. So feel the whole back body melting into the ground. Remembering the earth is always there to support you. The earth and the breath are always with you no matter where you are. If you like, again, you can let the knees hang out on one side. You can see that my knees are not all the way down because it's more important to keep my left shoulder down on the ground. You can keep moving if you prefer. And if you're hanging out on one side, do the same thing on the other side. Again, you can see that my right shoulder stays grounded. My knees are kind of hovering. I'm staying with the breath. And whenever you're ready, take your time. You can bring your knees into your chest. You can curl up into a little ball, maybe even lift the head, and stretch long again. Maybe make circles with the knees to give the lower back a little massage. And reverse the circles. And when you're ready, roll onto one side and then make your way up to table position on hands and knees. I'm spinning around because I'm used to facing the front. So if you have tender knees, if your knees are kind of sore, if they're on the ground, you can use a blanket and just put a blanket under your knees. Just an option. Coming into table. And as you exhale, pull the hips back towards the heels and pause for a moment in child's pose. Let yourself arrive on the ground again. Feel the earth supporting you. Your forearms and elbows can stay lifted or you can release them down. And inhale back up into table. Walk the hands towards the knees and then tuck all 10 toes. And come up into a forward fold. So just hang for a moment. Maybe rock side to side, hold opposite elbows. Or rock forward and back. If you like, you can release the elbows if you're holding them. And then just shake the head, yes, yes, forward and back, and no. And then you can't make up your mind between yes and no, so maybe making little smiley faces on your chin with your chest. And whenever you're ready, slowly peel up to standing. And once you're standing, shake it out. So again, throughout this practice, I urge you to listen to your body. That's the most wonderful part of practicing at home by yourself is you can always do more, you can always do less. So I'm going to begin at the front of the mat. Take a moment to ground myself. Maybe rock back and forth between the heels and the toes. Maybe rock side to side. So I'm waking up the feet. And finding my center. Arms can be hanging down by the sides if you like, or if it feels good for you, feel your breath under your hands. Imagine you could breathe in through the top of the head all the way down to the feet and exhale from the feet back out through the top of the head. And if your breath isn't coming down all the way to the feet, you can breathe in through the top of the head down to the chest, and then exhale from the chest back out through the top of the head. Or inhale from the top of the head down to the belly, and exhale from the belly back up to the top of the head. Eventually your breath might come all the way down, but don't force it. Just be with your breath. And if you like, begin to add the arms to the breath. Inhale, arms out to the sides and overhead. Exhale all the way back down. We're going to switch it up a little bit. Inhale, arms out to the side, and then turn the palms down. Exhale, down the center line. As a reminder to ground yourself, to bring your awareness down to the ground. Following your breath. So you're bringing awareness from the forehead to the chest, to the belly, and down into the ground. You're letting all that tension come down onto the earth, coming out of the mind and into the body, the breath, the earth. On the next exhale, dive all the way down into a forward fold again, and just pause and hang for a moment. And from here, take a big step back with the right foot. If you can, stay up on the right toes. Maybe sway back and forth. If you have blocks, you can also put blocks under your hands, but if you don't have blocks, it's okay. So I'm just moving back and forth a little bit. If this is too much for you, feel free to bring the right knee down. Or keep going a little bit, straightening the left knee any amount. Staying with your breath, that's the most important part. Whenever you've had enough, lean into the left foot, right foot steps forward, forward fold. Bend the knees, sweep the arms out to the sides, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the chest. Pause for a moment. Again, if you like, wrap the arms around the rib cage. Imagine the awareness melting from the brain down through the shoulders, down into the belly, down into the ground. And let's flow again. Inhale, arms out to the side. Turn the palms down. Exhale, down the center line. Getting taller as you inhale. Letting the awareness come down out of the mind as you exhale. So you're sweeping relaxation through your body. Using your breath. On the next exhale, again, dive down into a forward fold. Keep the back flat, knees soft, arms out to the sides. Pause for a moment to just hang. Let out those letting go breaths anytime you like. And then take a big step back with the left foot. Try not to be on a tightrope, so I need to move my right foot out to the side a little bit. Again, you can use blocks. Again, you can lower the left knee if that's better for you, and just come back and forth with the knee lowered. Stay with your body. And then lean into the right foot, step the left foot forward, forward fold, hang. Then from here, step the right foot back again. And now sink the right knee down, coming into low lunge. So you can keep your right foot tucked, press out through the sole of the foot, or press the right foot into the mat. Again, your hands can be on blocks if you have blocks. Blocks would be under your armpits. Or your hands can just hang, or they can be to the left thigh. And breathe. Press down into that right foot so you're not hanging out on the knee. And again, you can put padding under your knee. If you like, bring the arms up into a pitchfork shape. And maybe even bring the elbows a little bit towards the back without letting your chest loom forward. So you're not doing a back bend, you're just hugging the shoulder blades toward each other a little bit. The hips stay square. If you want to add more movement, as you exhale, close your elbows and forearms, and then inhale, open. It's like you're closing the gates to your heart. And then you're opening them wide as you inhale. Stay with your breath. Be conscious of the orientation of your neck. I'm tending to hold my neck stiff, so you might see my neck, my head moving sometimes. Bring the arms back down, lean into the left foot, tuck the right toes, step the right foot forward, forward fold, pause for a moment. And then you can come through that squat, bend the knees, sweep the arms forward or out to the sides, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the chest. Again, if you like, pause. Hold the arms around the rib cage. Feel your breath. If you're craving movement, again, add the arms. And imagine that settling, that downward movement of all the energy in your body as you exhale. You might still be holding your rib cage or holding your belly. When you're ready, dive all the way down, forward fold. Hang again for a moment. Anytime you like, shake the head. Yes, no, just to soften the neck. And when you're ready, step the left foot far back. Sink the left knee down, coming into low lunge. Again, I'm needing to move my right foot out to the side a little bit so I'm not on a tightrope. Again, you can have the blocks under your armpits. Press into the left foot so you're not hanging out on the left knee. You can also untuck the toes and press the top of the foot down. Stay here, hips stay quite low. The left hip is yearning forward, or bring the arms up into that pitchfork shape. Again, don't let you're not adding an arch to the upper back, but you're kind of squeezing the shoulder blades toward each other. If you want movement, exhale, close, inhale, open. You might imagine your upper body is like a cuckoo clock, and the cuckoo comes out on each inhale and says, cuckoo, cuckoo. You might never have seen a cuckoo clock, but that's what I'm visualizing right now. When you're ready, bring the arms back down, step the right foot back, this time into table position. And then find your tabletop, your fingers are wide, and begin to start to circle your torso side to side. So you might imagine that your torso is inside a barrel or like a jar of peanut butter, and you're scraping the sides with your torso. And you're following your breath, and again, your neck is also following along. You can reverse the circles. You're kind of just undulating the spine. Find what feels good for you. And come back into table position. And then send the right leg behind you into balancing cat. lower the right hip a little bit so that the hips stay even. You might even turn the right toes in a little bit so that your leg is not higher, your right hip is not higher than the left hip. Stay here or bring the left arm forward and breathe. So you can stay here, this might be plenty, or you can always bring the left arm back down, or as you exhale, bring the left elbow towards the right knee. Inhale, open, wide. Exhale, fold closed. Inhale, open wide. Exhale, fold closed. Do that as long as you like. Anytime you've had enough, you can just release the, keep the arm and the leg extended, or bring the leg, arm back down. And when you've had enough, bring the right knee down and maybe just sway your hips side to side, like you're a dog and you're wagging your tail and you're so excited. Maybe not quite that fast, maybe a little bit slower. Come back to center and then send the left leg behind you. Again, square your hips, maybe turn the left big toes in a little bit to lower that left hip. Option to stay here or bring the right arm forward. An option to stay here, or as you exhale, bring the right elbow towards the left knee, curl under, and then inhale, extend, exhale, curl under, inhale, extend, stay with your breath. Do that for as long as you like. You're always welcome to pause the movement and come down, or to hang out in just the left leg extended. When you've had enough, bring the right arm down, the left knee down, and then come all the way down onto the belly. And once you're on your belly, just let yourself arrive. You might make a pillow with the hands or the forehead. Imagine your whole body now arriving on the mat. Breathing in, I'm arriving. Breathing out, I am home. Now bring the hands, we're going to come into Cobra, bring the hands alongside the chest. Your thumbs are coming towards the lower rib cage rather than the shoulders or the chest. Your elbows are hugged in, so if your elbows are sticking out to the side, pull them in like you're wrapping a rubber band around the elbows. And then lengthen from the toes to the top of the head. And as your breath finds you, let the shoulders roll away from the ears on each exhale. As your breath finds you, inhale, let the torso rise just a little bit. Press the pelvis down, the thighs down. Exhale, back down. Get longer as you exhale. And do that a few more times. Really listening to your body, coming up as high as you want, but you're not really, this isn't like a push-up. You're not pressing into the arms. You're using the strength of your torso. Whenever you've had enough, you can sink back down onto the belly. This time, if you like, if your neck allows it, turn the cheek to one side, maybe bring the arms alongside the body, and if you want more movement or releasing the lower back, bend the knees, windshield wiper feet side to side. Always be with your body. Throughout the practice, rest more than I'm guiding, do more than I'm guiding. This is yours. If your cheek is turned to one side, maybe turn the opposite cheek to the mat. And let your whole body melt down into the ground. Bring the head back to center, hands alongside the chest. Gather the belly in, come up into table. Keep going, pull the hips back towards the heels. And then inhale back up into table position. Fingers stand out, back is flat. Find your breath again. And as your inhale finds you, the tailbone rises up, the belly goes low, the chest comes forward, the chin comes up. And as your exhale finds you, tuck the tailbone under, the spine rolls towards the sky. The belly hugs in towards the spine, the chin tucks on your lap. Move back and forth at the pace of your breath. Full deep inhale, stretching the front body as you inhale and stretching the whole back body as you exhale. Your torso might be moving faster or slower than mine. Inhale back into table position. You can keep going if it feels really good for you. Or as you exhale, pull the hips back towards the heels for extended child. Keep pulling the tailbone towards the back of the room. Keep hugging the abdominal muscles in towards the spine. Inhale back up into table. And then again, pull the hips as far back as they'll go. You're making space in the lower back. So this might be perfect. This might feel really good for your body. If your body is craving more movement, the next time you come up into table, let your heart keep going. Maybe your hips hammock down, your belly hammocks down, maybe even look up. And then inhale, gather the belly in, pull all the way back into extended child. You can pause for a moment and just see how that feels, or keep moving. So listen to your body. You might just be moving forward into table and then reversing back as you exhale, making space in the lower back. Or again, move forward. You can, if you're moving forward, you can even bring the heels towards the buttocks. So you're rolling over the knees and then pull back. So listen to your body. I can't say it often enough. Listen to your body. Do what your body wants to do. I'm giving you options, but your body will give you the roadmap if you just tune in and ask it. Keep moving as long as you like. When you've had enough, rest in child's pose. You might make a pillow with the hands for the head so the forehead can, imagine the forehead now draining down into your hand pillow and down to the earth. Stay here longer if this is perfect for you, or make your way into table or straight into downward facing dog. And just walk it out. Press into all 10 fingers. Weight is coming. The shoulders are rolling up the back towards the tailbone. The navel is hugged in towards the lower back. The heels probably aren't touching, but they're yearning down to the mat. So stay here, or if it's in your practice, pull forward into plank like the top of a push-up. You can always lower the knees down if that's better for you, and then exhale back into downward dog. So feel free to come forward into plank or knees down plank and into downward dog. Do that as many times as you like, or stay in downward dog. Or whenever you're ready, come back into that yummy child's pose. So I'm going to come into child's pose just to model taking care of myself today. If your body is craving the movement, the exertion of downward dog to plank and back up, feel free to do that. You can always add more. You can do a chaturanga all the way down onto the ground. So just add parts of your practice that I may not be guiding. Whenever you've had enough, come back up. Again, tuck the toes. We're going to pike up into that forward fold again. And you can just hang again, maybe rock side to side. And peel up to standing. Shake it out. Shake it out. Notice maybe you're feeling a little more alive, a little more awake. And breathe, stepping to the front of the mat. Beginning again in mountain pose. You can start out with the hands to the hips and maybe shift the weight to the left foot, bring the right knee forward. So you can stay here, or maybe you're wobbly like me, bring the arms up into a wide V. And then you can bring the hands back down to the hips if you've lifted them up, and maybe step that right foot far back, coming into a high lunge. Here, the option is to bring the arms behind you instead of on the hips. And then maybe gather the belly, and maybe you can bring that right knee forward again and come back into, I took a little pause in between, come back into that balance pose. Exhale, back behind you again. Option to keep the hands on the hips. Option to take a pause between the two poses so that your foot kind of taps down. So you're just playing with balance today. Feel free to just lift and lower the right knee if that's better for you rather than stepping back. So don't hurt yourself. I'm giving options for everyone. And breathe. And whenever you've had enough, bring the right knee down, come back into mountain pose. Hold your belly in your hands, or again, wrap the arms around the rib cage and let yourself arrive. Shake it out if you like. And now we're going to do the other side. Nice. So option two, I'm just going to give you all the options. Hands to the hips, bring the left knee forward. You can stay here, and maybe your practice is just to lift and lower the left leg today. Keep the right knee soft. If you want to add the arms, bring the arms overhead. And you can always bring the hands back to the hips, and then maybe step the left foot as far back, coming up into that high lunge. Maybe bring the arms behind you. And then gather the belly in, bring the left knee forward. You might notice I'm wobbly and shaky here. So find the practice this morning that works best for you. Do less than I'm guiding, more than I'm guiding. This is your practice. It's your body. And keep bringing that awareness back into that strong right leg. Well, it's making you aware of it, so there's not much chance you'll be able to ignore it. And stay with your breath. Again, when you've had enough, bring the left knee down, hold your belly in your hands, or wrap the arms around the rib cage. Feel your breath. Feel your awareness grounding down into the earth. You can imagine again, bring your awareness to the forehead. Exhale down to the shoulders. Another deep inhale. Exhale down to the belly. Another deep inhale. Exhale down into the ground. And from here, make your way into a seated pose. I'm just checking the time here. So make your way into a seated pose. Bring the legs in front of you. Bring the arms behind you. Maybe turn the fingers away. So for some of you, it might be better to turn your fingers in. Depends on your shoulders and your wrists. Legs are wide, arms are wide. And as you inhale, Come up into reverse table. Lift the hips up, open the heart. Don't let the head drop back, so keep a hold of the neck a little bit. Don't let it dangle. And then exhale, bring the hips back towards the hands. You can swing the arms forward and hug the shins in, and then swing the arms behind you. Come up into reverse table again. Stay here longer if you like. Or come, bring the hips back down towards the hands. Lean forward, hug the knees in. So again, listen to your body. If this is something your body says, nope, not doing today, then just find something else. Maybe one more. Always feel free to rest. So my body just said no, so I didn't come up all the way. Bring the knees wider now, so your feet are pretty wide apart. Take a moment to arrive upright, maybe remove the flesh from the sits bones, and then bring the arms between the feet in some expression. So you're not trying to come down further. Your hands might be closer to your body and you might be up quite high, or just let your arms go wherever they want to. Maybe let your head soften, your neck soften. So you can stay here and just keep softening the belly. Or you can start to sway your shoulders side to side. Come back to center if you like. Maybe your elbows, maybe your hands want to come in closer and your elbows want to come down, or you can even push into the hands a little bit to make it a little less extreme on the inner thigh. Whenever you're ready, push into the hands, rise up. Use the hands to bring the knees apart, and then bring the hands behind you and start to windshield wiper knees side to side. Maybe your feet want to be wider. Maybe you want to come down onto the forearms and let your knees windshield wiper side to side that way. The sun is coming out. Isn't that wonderful? And breathe. It's the small pleasures in life. And then make your way all the way down onto the back again whenever you're ready. Just like we started the practice, maybe hug the knees in. Bring your feet back to the mat and bring your feet wide again, just like we did just sitting now. Bring the arms into an A-frame. I think we did this at the beginning of the practice too. And as you exhale, knees drop to the right, head to the left. Inhale, knees and head back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, head to the right. Side to side with the knees. So this might feel really perfect for you. And if your body is craving a little more energy, a little more movement, feel free to stay here. If your body's craving more, bring the knees into the chest, maybe hug them in, and then bring your arms out to the sides again, just like before. And as you exhale, let the knees drift over to the right, maybe look towards your left shoulder. Keep the left shoulder grounded. The knees can hover where they want. Inhale, knees and head back to center. Arms are strong, like they're like the support of a swing set. Knees drift over to the left, right shoulder stays down. And come side to side. At the pace of your breath and at the pace of what your body wants to do. You can always, if that's too much, bring the feet really wide, bring the feet down, and knees just windshield wiper side to side. So listen to your body. Stay with either of these options as long as you like. When you've had enough, come back into constructive rest pose, knees resting against each other, feet a little bit wider, hands to the belly. Pause and arrive. When you're ready, bring your knees into your chest and then bring the feet up to the sky. You can bring the arms out to the sides, or if you have some lower back issues, kind of walk the thumbs under the base of the buttocks. So the thumbs are kind of lifting the tailbone a little bit so the lower back is flat. Soften your neck. And then start to scissor your legs wide. Dysfunctional scissors cross over. Let your chin be towards your chest a little bit. Soften the shoulders onto the ground. Soften the tongue. Peel the tongue off the roof of the mouth. Maybe add a little smile to your face. Keep scissoring in any way that feels good for you. Sometimes it's nice to alternate between keeping the feet flexed and pointing the toes. So stay with the scissoring motion if this feels good for you. Sometimes I like to then bring the feet together, the legs together, and then just flutter kick with the legs taut, the feet forward and back. Again, you're keeping the lower back pressed down. Your flutter kicks, so they're not really like flutter kicks. The legs are very active. You're still pressing out through the soles of the feet. You're hugging the navel in towards the spine, the lower belly hugged in towards the lower back. And if you want to do, you can make the flutter kicking faster if you like, or start to walk your feet down towards a diagonal. Keep the lower back pressed down, and then gently walk it back up. This always strikes me as really silly. Imagine you can only take really, really tiny steps and your legs stay taut, so you're not bending your knees with your steps, and your lower back stays pressed down. Walk it up and down as long as you like. You can always come back to the scissoring if you like. And whenever you've had enough, take your time, bring your knees into your chest, curl up into a little ball, maybe lift the head again, and bring the head back down. Bring the feet back down, pause in constructive rest pose again. So you can always come to these resting poses sooner than I'm guiding. You can do the energetic poses longer than I'm guiding. Feel your breath. And then let's do pigeon on the back. This is eye of the needle pose for those of you who are familiar with the names. Bring the right knee into the chest. And then cross the right ankle over the right thigh, left thigh. The right ankle over the left thigh, not the right thigh. That would be impossible. Unless you're a Gandhi person. So you can stay here. This might be enough opening for your right hip. You can also press the right hip away a little, the right knee away a little bit and press the knee into the hand. Or you can lift the left leg up. And this might be plenty for you. You can pretend that your left foot is pressing against an invisible wall. Your lower back is pressed down. The hands can rest on the belly or by the sides. Or come into eye of the needle pose. The right hand goes between the legs. That's the eye of the needle. And then hold on to the back of the left thigh with both hands. So I'm clasping my hands behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin. Don't overdo it. If your arms and your torso is like rising up trying to get there, then take one of the other poses. Bring the hands back down. The left foot is pressing against an invisible wall. Soften the jaw. Keep breathing. Soften the fronts of the shoulders into the shoulder blades. Stay with the breath. Stay here as long as you like. When you've had enough, unwind, bring the right foot back down. Maybe again, windshield wiper your feet side to side. And bringing the knees back up. Coming into the other side of that eye of the needle shape, bring the left knee into the chest. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh. So you might stay here. Keep the left foot flexed. Bring the left hand to the inside of the left knee and then press knee into hand and hand into knee, lower back, pressing down. Or lift the right leg up. Imagine there's a wall that your right foot is pressing against your belly, is hugging down towards the lower back. Keep both feet flexed to protect the knees. There should be no stretch or pain or sensation in the knee. Or come into eye of the needle pose. Now the left hand goes between the legs, hold out to the back of the right thigh, or the front of the right shin, clasping hands. Soften the belly onto the ground. Stay here. Again, I'm going to model one of the first options so that you're not over efforting. Breathe, soften the jaw. Tongue. Imagine widening the tongue so that the tongue fills the lower part of the jaw. When you've had enough, take your time. When you've had enough, unwind, bring the left leg down, maybe again, windshield wiper, feet side to side, knees side to side. I'm just checking the time again. Bring the hands alongside the hips, feet close to the buttocks, arms alongside the body. Press into the feet and lift the hips up. And then slowly, with control, bring the hips back down, coming into bridge wave. Option to stay lifted in bridge if you like, or just bring hips up and down. And when you've had enough of that, take your time. When you've had plenty, bring the knees into the chest, roll onto the one side, and then make your way down onto the belly. So you're coming up, or you can just roll over on your mat if that works for you. Come all the way down onto the belly. We're going to do a restorative Sphinx pose. So the elbows are under the shoulders. The forearms are parallel. The legs are straight back from the hips. The pelvis is heavy. The legs are heavy. And in this restorative Sphinx pose, instead of lifting the heart, this time let your head drop down. Press into the forearms just a little bit so you're not hanging out on the shoulders, but your arms and your shoulders are kind of relaxing. And then let your pelvis drape down onto the ground. Imagine your pelvis is growing roots down into the ground. The thighs are heavy. The belly is melting. Stay with your breath. Keep letting your pelvis drape down. The fronts of the thighs, where the thighs meet the hips, are draping, or the torso are draping down onto the ground. So your buttocks are softening, your belly is softening and maybe lengthening.
Stay with your breath. Stay here as long as you like. If your body's like, no, I'm not doing that any longer, then make your way down onto the belly. Again, you might choose to stay longer. This might feel good for you. If you're coming down onto the belly, you can make a pillow with the hands for the head or turn the cheek to one side. Actually, I'm going to model making a pillow with the hands for the head for right now. And you can just stay here and let yourself just melt down onto the mat. Or if you like, take half frog. Bend the right knee, bring the right, excuse me, bring the right shin and thigh parallel to perpendicular to each other. So you're making a little frog leg. And breathe, soften whatever you can. You can keep the hands under the forehead. This might be perfect. If you want to add a little neck stretch, you can turn the cheek to one side and you can make kind of frog arms. So your forearms and your upper arms are also perpendicular to each other. You're letting your whole body drape down onto the ground. If there's any discomfort in your shoulders, then either bring your head back to center and make a pillow with the hands for the head, or bring the arms down so your shoulders can soften instead of being taxed. This is a restorative pose, so try not to be with discomfort in this pose. This is a pose to help you release into the ground, into gravity, remembering the earth supporting you. The earth longs to hold you so your breath can fill you. That's from Deep Listening by Jillian Pransky. The earth longs to hold you so your breath can fill you. Stay here longer if you like. When you're complete, extend the right leg long. Maybe again, make that pillow with your hands for your head and and when you're ready, transition to the other side. So now the left knee bends out to the side. The left thigh and left shin are perpendicular to each other. Soften the belly. Notice maybe how different this side is. If you want to add more, you can, or if you want to try this variation, it's not really adding more. Turn the cheek towards the same side as the knee. Maybe make those frog arms or those goalpost or pitchfork arms. Again, if there's any sensation in the shoulders, this is not a shoulder stretch. Bring the arms alongside the body to release the shoulders down. Keep softening even more onto the ground. The earth longs to hold you so your breath can fill you. Stay there as long as you can. When you're ready to transition, extend the left leg behind you.
Gather the belly in, come up into table. Maybe pause for a moment in child's pose.
Making a pillow with the hands for the head.
And whenever you're complete, make your way down onto the back for final relaxation. I'm going to layer up a little bit. Once you come on your back, if you like, you can take constructive rest pose again, letting the knees rest against each other. If you have a pillow or a bolster, or even some folded blankets, you can, if you have some extra blankets and you don't have a pillow to put under your knees, you can bring one of the rolled blankets under your knees to support your knees. Sometimes it's really nice to take a blanket and a folded blanket and drape it over your belly. So just find your shape for Shavasana. I recommend that you don't extend the legs long unless you have no back issues at all. And I'm going to guide you in this pose. So I'm going to be sitting, but you stay down on the ground. Lie down, let go. Be with your breath. Feel the earth holding you. Feel the earth holding you so your breath can fill you. I'm still making my way into my seated pose so that I can support you during Shavasana. The best part about doing yoga at home is you can stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you can, unless you really have to leave, really stay with the Shavasana. Stay with us longer. It's so important to give the body, the mind, and the spirit a chance to integrate what we've done in our practice, a chance to completely let go. And I know that's really hard these days. And that's why Shavasana, taking pauses, taking conscious rests, is so important right now and always. Let the earth hold you so your breath can fill you. Notice if there's any holding or doing in your hands, your fingers. Can you let go of your hands? Can you just relax them? Imagine breathing into the hands and fingers to ask them to soften. Is it possible to soften the buttocks a little more? Imagine your buttocks melting onto the ground. No need to hold anything. No need to hold anything. Let it go. Let it all go. Bring your awareness now into your belly. Feel your belly. You might feel your belly rising and falling with the breath. Or as you're feeling your belly, you might be aware of some holding, some tension, some guarding in the belly. If it feels good to you, sometimes it's really nice to let your hands rest on your belly, telling your belly it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. It's okay to let go. And if you're a visual person, imagine watching a baby sleep. We've all sometimes watched a baby sleep. Our own baby, a friend's baby, maybe even just a sibling, a younger sibling sleeping, a grandchild. And remember how peaceful the sleeping baby looked. How it was just letting go onto the surface it was sleeping on. Letting go in the crib, the bassinet, wherever the baby's sleeping. And then remember how soft the baby's belly, how softly the baby's belly was rising and falling with the breath. Just by looking at the baby, it seemed there was no care in the world. Can you imagine letting your belly be that soft, that open, that trusting, that unguarded? Open your belly. Soften your belly. Let go of your belly into the earth. And since it's such a tradition in my classes, I have to read from Dana Folds. Attend the breath. Attend the breath. Let the rhythm slow and settle. Filling, emptying, filling, emptying. Draw the outside in and then release. Simplicity and ease. Nothing to do but breathe, relax, and feel the free movement of air and life force. Nothing to do but breathe, relax, and feel the free movement of air and life force. Watch the play of energy and sensation. Allow everything to be without the need to change or fix or make it different. Allow everything to be. This moment you can listen to your soul. This breath, you can have no goal but being. You are already complete. This, just this, is what it means to be whole. This is what it means to be whole. This is what it means to be whole. Right here, right now. This is what it means to be whole. To be yourself. No need to change anything. This is who you are. This, just this. So please stay longer if you can. I am not going to disrupt your Shavasana. Stay as long as you like. You might silently, in your heart, join me in saying Namaste. Namaste. I honor the light that shines within you, within me, the light that shines within us all. Namaste. I hope to see you again soon. Be well.